Good rainy morning to everyone this morning. Welcome back to the channel. Glad you could join me. Today we have a Chevy Trailblazer. Unsure of the year edition. It's probably an 05 or an 06. Let's look here. 05. It has a misfire. States that he put new spark plugs in it, and the spark plug, misfire went away for a little bit, but then it came back. He pulled the spark plug out and it was oil soaked. He wants it checked out, possibly fix it, possibly not. So stay tuned because this should be pretty interesting. Contact. All right, let's start the engine. Oh, keys. I need keys. Are they here? Yes, they are. I didn't think he took them inside. All right, so starting the engine. Seems to run okay. Okay, let's pull it up to the shop. Let's do a code scan and we'll see what we get here. All right, let's get this thing hooked up to the scan tool and let's see. We've got it in the shop here, so let's see what we've got. Nah, we're not gonna worry about that update currently. Hey, diagnostics. Let's see if this thing will pull up. Nope. Okay, we're just gonna do this, standalone. Come on. Read. So we're looking at seeing what we've got. This customer said that he put new spark plugs in it. He did some of his own work, and product line, I don't know. T transfer case, 4-button selectable. Yep. I don't know. Navigation radio. Dual zone automatic. Nope, it's not automatic, but whatever, we're not interested in that. So what we want to check and see, he wants to make sure that, you know, is there something wrong with the engine? Do we have did he do something wrong, or what there? So let's get this thing figured out. We'll do a fault scan on it to begin with, see what kind of codes we have in the powertrain. We've got 3. He said they're misfire codes, so we'll see if he's correct. Wouldn't know why he wouldn't be, but we'll just do a scan here and see. Hey, we've actually got one green. How about that? All right, let's go in the powertrain. Arrow over. Trouble codes. Reading codes. 3 of them. All right, all in the engine. Cylinder 2 misfire. Evap and heated oxygen sensor. That's the heater resistance, so we're not really having a problem with that necessarily, I don't think. Let's just while we're here, let's go ahead and do a look around up front here and see if we've got anything up front that shows up. Okay, well, we have our PCV just floating out in midair there. Let's see if we've got anything going on with our heated oxygen sensor. It's plugged in, everything's good there. We do have a loose connector there. I'm not sure where that goes. Let's do a little look around, look-see. Do we see anything back there? I would think if that's pertaining to anything on the engine, we should have a code for it. I did notice some HVAC codes, so maybe it's something to do with that. I think these things usually run a secondary air pump on them. You know what? I bet you that's what that's for. If I remember correctly on these, it's been a while since I ran worked on one of those, but I think that's what's supposed to sit right there, and that's probably what's supposed to go plug into there. I don't think that's gonna cause, that shouldn't cause a misfire. So cylinder 2 misfire. When I was pulling it in here, I did notice a slight misfire when I put it under a load. So let's do this, or we'll start it up. And let's just check our live data, engine live data, misfire. Just go straight to that, since that's what we got a code for. Currently not misfiring. Okay. Yep, there it goes. Yeah. Felt it. Yeah, it's pretty consistent there. I don't think that doesn't seem to be compression related because it's very intermittent. Okay, it's very random misfire. Okay, doesn't really seem like a compression issue. It seems more like a possible coil, spark plug, or a injector, because it's very random. All right, let's get up there and let's pull that cylinder number 2. In order to do that, we're gonna have to remove the intake here, which is not a big deal, but let's remove this cover. Let's get down in there and let's see what that cylinder 2 looks like. All right, well, in the middle of working on this thing, customer called me, asked me how it's going, and in the course of the conversation, we figured out that he had a misfire code on cylinder number 1 originally, and because I told him, basically I told him it's got a misfire on cylinder number 2, and he said, well, he switched cylinder number 1 and cylinder number 2 coil because he had a misfire on cylinder number 1. However, when he did that, then his code reader wouldn't tell him which cylinder it was, so he just assumed it's a cylinder problem. So because of that, we just went ahead and ordered a brand new coil because it moved with the coil and it feels like a coil problem. So this is probably going to be a boring video, I guess. It's not really a diagnostic video in of itself, so if you're not interested in this video, I don't blame you, but we'll go ahead and bring you guys along and show you what we did find, I guess. All right, let's go ahead and take this intake off here, just this top part here. If I remember correctly, though, there is some PCD hoses that are attached to this thing, possibly in the front and in the rear. So we'll just go ahead and take this off and find out. It may not be one in the rear. It might be just up front here. So here, yeah, that's gonna come off here, and I get my screwdriver on there. No worries, loosens from there. Okay, yep, just one PCB up here. Yeah, I should have known that was coming. All right, so Napa sent me this one, and it's not the right one. So I looked it up by VIN number, and per the VIN number, it takes this one. So I believe this must be either a newer or an older motor in this truck. So we're gonna have to do a little exploring and see if we can find the right coil, because it's not, even with the dealership, they're saying it takes this one here. It's not gonna fit. So see if we can find the right one. I don't know. All right, we're back. Napa has, well, actually it's Saturday, and I went over and picked it up at Napa because they don't do Saturday delivery. But through my superior investigative skills, or actually just going to a 2006 model. I found that we have the right coil. So what I suspect happened here is the engine went bad in this thing. They put another engine in it, and it's probably from a 2006. The wiring harness is the same. The connectors are the same. It's just that the coils are different from 2005 to 2006. So that's the best I can tell that happened. But anyway, we're matching these up. They're the same. As you can see, this one's an NGK. Made in the USA is what it says on the box. Go USA. It's not very often we see that anymore. Most times it's made in China. So let's go ahead and dab a little dielectric grease in here. Come on. Well, fall then. And put a little dab in here. Doesn't take much, just enough to displace the water, moisture, and create a better connection. We'll shove that down in there. Let's get my tools. So, like I said, this is, I thought this was going to turn into a possibly interesting diagnostic video. And it really hasn't. So, you know, as of yet, I feel pretty confident that this is probably going to fix the problem, since the customer basically did the diagnostic work for us. Like I said, he said that he switched 1 and 2, and the reason he brought it to me is because his little scanner wouldn't tell him which cylinder it was on. Probably because it was not enough time had elapsed, and some of those cheaper scanners won't register immediately. So no problems, we'll get it fixed. I think we'll get it figured out, unless, you know, unless for some reason this doesn't fix it, but I feel pretty confident it will. So let's go ahead and make sure we hook up our PCB here. That gets pushed down into there. This goes on here. Tighten both of these clamps and go do that. Now, one of the things that he did request is that I fix his exhaust while we've got it in here anyway. So, you know, maybe we'll have an interesting video after all. I've been a little short on getting videos out. I've just hired a new guy, and he, you know, trying to get him acclimated to everything, and it's been kind of rough to get everything edited and put out for you guys, but we'll get back to the normal programming here in a couple weeks, hopefully. So bear with me until I get that done. Hopefully you can. If not, I understand, but hopefully you guys can understand and bear with me here. So believe he's going to turn out very well. He's very intelligent, but it is his first job as a mechanic, so it's going to take a little bit of training to get him comfortable with a lot of things here. So, but I only have to tell him about once, and he knows what he's doing. So I'm happy for that. I think it'll work out okay. Now, do that. I don't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but the customer was a little concerned about some of the oil, what he thought was possibly oil sitting on the spark plug in cylinder number 1. When he took that out, he had put new spark plugs in it, and he said it was less than a week, I think, maybe even just a day, I'm not sure. But he said there was what looked like oil dripping off of the spark plug. I suspect it was probably fuel and carbon. They said it wasn't actually dripping, but it was kind of fouled up. So I suspect it was probably a little bit of carbon buildup because it wasn't firing correctly. So I don't think we have a base engine problem. If I would have suspected that, I would have done a compression check, but since he moved that, I don't think, or moved the coil and it moved to cylinder number 2, I feel pretty confident it's not a compression issue. Now, we could have done a compression check, but I don't feel like that's warranted at this time. So no need to waste that time doing that. And the customer didn't request it. So let's get this all off of here. Let's check it. Then we'll get underneath there and see what we need to do on our exhaust. So let's fire it up and we'll see what it looks like on the scan tool. All right, so I had to switch scan tools because I left my other one turned on overnight and it's dead. So let's get hooked up to this. So if you remember, prior we had a misfire on cylinder number 2. So let's fire it up and see what happens. Contact. We'll let it sit here and idle for a little bit. Yep. Cylinder number 2 has had a little bit. Oh yeah, it's still back. Well, this might still get interesting because we may have to investigate further. Yep, it's still misfiring. Well, that did not take care of the problem. I guess I need to ask him, did he switch the spark plugs as well? Because yeah, it's still misfiring and I can feel it. I don't believe it's as bad as it was. Yeah, it's probably just as bad. Just as bad as it was. Okay. Well, we need to go back to the drawing board. I need to do my own diagnosing. I need to figure out what we've got going on here. I want to determine if we have a spark plug issue as well. I need to know what kind of spark plugs he put in there. I should have checked this out before I got in a hurry again, but he was very certain that he switched the coil pack from 1 to 2, so he said it, yeah, he was pretty sure it moved with the coil pack. So, all right, well, it's misfiring just as bad as it was. Didn't make a difference. All right, no sense in letting it warm up, so let's get that thing back off of there. Let's get it checked out. It's a random misfire, so I feel like it just about has to be it just really feels like it has to be in an electrical or something. So let's get the spark plug switched out and let's see what happens. I want to know if it moves with the spark plug. Did they move the spark plug? I don't know. He just said he moved the coil. Now, I don't know, I guess, if he moved the spark plug. He said he moved the coil and it moved from 1 to 2. I'm just going to start all over. We're going to do a complete reset. And I'm going to go do my own, not that I don't trust the customer, but I need to know for myself what's going on here. So we're going to pull the coil. We know we've got a new coil on cylinder number 2. We're going to go ahead and switch the coil. And I'm also going to go check and make sure that for some reason they don't start with cylinder number 1 in the rear by the flywheel. They do that sometimes. Some engine manufacturers do that. So I need to go check that. Let's do a reset, complete reset. I'm getting in a hurry here. I got in a hurry and it's gonna burn me in the butt. So let's do our due diligence and I will be back when I get some of that figured out. So we're gonna do a complete reset, restart, quit trying to cut corners because it's already cost us a little bit of time. So let's get this reset and we'll restart and act like the first part of this never happened. All right. We have figured out that the cylinder number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is in the back. 1 is in the front. So that is our cylinder. We were correct on that, so we are on the correct cylinder. Yeah, I bet you that's the problem. The tip is burned off of this thing. This is yeah, there's a big difference between those two. The tip is burned off of this spark plug. I can almost guarantee you that's the issue. Okay, well, why did it do that? I'm not going to tighten anything down, it's not necessary. Let's see if it moved to cylinder number 1 now. All right, contact. Retry. Nope. It's still on cylinder number 2. Well, that's interesting. Let's change gears here a little bit. So, we have figured out that it's not the spark plug. I felt pretty confident it was going to be the spark plug, so... Interesting. Okay. Guys, I don't know what's up with me. I don't know if I need to edit that out. No, I'm not going to edit it out. But I just literally put the spark plug back in the same hole. I'm almost certain I did. So let's try this again. I know I switched them this time. Guys, sometimes it goes like this for me anyway. I'm not going to pretend to be perfect. I pulled them spark plugs back out again, and I'm pretty sure I put the same plug back in the same hole. So let's try this again. Like they say, third time's a charm, right? Contact. Okay, yeah. All right. Enough said. So it is the spark plug. I had put the wrong spark plug down, or I don't know, the right spark plug down the right hole, wrong hole, put the wrong spark plug. Basically what I did is I pulled the spark plugs out and decided I'm going to switch them, put them in a different hole. I put them right back in the same cylinder they were in. Anyway, we just about went on an expedition of diagnosing, and it ended up being the wrong spark plug. I guess the lesson we can take from that is slow down, make sure that you're doing your diagnostic steps correctly. This is a Saturday morning. I'm trying to get this thing out of here, and I got in a hurry, and I put the spark plug back in the same hole I took them out of. So just take a little time, if you need to just verify that you're doing your diagnostic steps correctly, because what could have happened here, if I wouldn't have caught it, and I don't know how I caught it, you know, God must have said, hey, look at your work again. Gave me that in my head there, because I'm telling you, that could have turned into a whole different time wasted just because of one little mistake. So it happens. It definitely does happen. It would have been a lot of unbillable time. Okay, so the customer, talked to him. He wisely has decided, I believe it's wisely, has decided to do all new spark plugs again, and let's do the OEM AC Delco spark plugs. So that's what we're going to do here. And he also said, let's leave this new coil on there. All of them are on. Everything's tight, secure. Oh, that's good, that's good. All right, so let's get this put back on. I think I'll go ahead and just leave everything loose until we for sure confirm that we did indeed diagnose it correctly, which I'm almost 100% sure, but you know, with my history today, I want to make sure. Contact! Well, it definitely runs better. We'll let it idle for a little bit, but already I can tell a difference. 0 misfires. Okay. All right, well, it's been sitting there idling for a little bit. Still no misfires. I believe we fixed the problem. So we're going to go out and we're going to tighten up everything on the intake and put that all back together. We'll get this thing up on the lift and we'll repair our exhaust. It took us a little bit, but we finally did get it. So yeah, it's running well. Okay, we are ready to get up on the lift and see what we need for exhaust work. All right, so I did already take the piece out of there, but I'll show you what was in there. This was in there. It was just sitting in there. This is like way too big. This slides over everything here. I think what we're going to want to do is we're definitely gonna want to fix all this, but come on here. Okay, so yeah, this end here is probably close enough to the right size. We can make that work. We really should have a piece that I can weld onto there and put a hanger on there, because this thing needs to be held off of this frame here. So then that'll all line up a lot better. So basically what I think we're going to do is I'm going to take this out of here. Come on. And we're going to get ourselves a piece that slides across there easily. I'll need to measure that for sure. I think that's like a 2.5 inch. And then we'll weld that on there. I'll get a hanger that goes into here, comes over and holds this thing up kind of like this here, because it needs to be up off of this, otherwise it's going to ruin the muffler eventually. Plus it's going to rattle when it's sitting there idling. So let's see if I've got some pipe. We'll get that figured out. This should be a fairly easy fix. All right, we're back with our parts. Excuse me. And what we're going to do is something just a little bit different. Part of the reason is because of the location of all this. I think I could weld around there, but this part right here is always the hardest part to weld. Plus it's like right here by the muffler. I could weld this pretty easily, but I've got 2 3/4 inch exhaust clamps, and it's going to be just about as easy to just piece it together with exhaust clamps. And you know, the customer said he's okay with that. So let's go ahead and get this together here. I've got a hanger, just a couple $1 hanger here, and we're gonna get that put together here. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. My phone is a ding-a-linging. All right, I was not the president. Okay, let's see here. Get that slid back together just a little bit more. I'll get my persuader out here. The hanger is still not relaxed enough down at the other end, so we need to come further this way, which helps us out. You guys tell me when I'm far enough. All right. Let's see here. Hopefully that feels fairly solid. this is lined up down here. I might go ahead and weld this part, since I can get to that pretty easily, and then I'll put a clamp on that part. And then this hanger here, I should have got a straight hanger, because this really needs, I mean, this is not going to work very well. Even if this is turned around, I don't think, yeah, no, that's not gonna work at all. I might tell you what I'm gonna do. We're going to straighten this out, and I think I can go straighten it out somewhat, and I can make that work. That'll work. So we'll apply a little heat there, and meanwhile we're going to tighten that down. Put this all the way on the edge, because I don't remember or don't know how much meat I've got on it there. They sent me three nuts instead of just 2. I guess they were assuming I'd lose one. I don't know. Alright, let's get this tightened down here. Oh, come on. Stop. Stop it. Right there on the edge. How's the weather where you guys are at? It's Saturday evening, January the, I don't know, 12th or something like that. And we have temperatures hovering around 12 degrees. It's windy, blowing snow. I think it's perfect. I like it. Torque it down. Okay, all right. Now, I think what I would like to do is I'd like to we'll bend this kind of at an angle over here, and then I can put a clamp around there and hold that up like that. So, all right, so let's bend it some more. Actually, that might be good right there. I think that will be good. Because we got a little space. If we do this, we got a little space here. Come on. There we go. Perfect. That'll add just the right amount of tension on that thing and hold it where we need it to be held. Release a little pressure off of this here. So, hey, wrong size. Okay, this will be the right size. Don't really need a wibbly wobbly, but okay. There's that. Now that. Okay, so we need to. I'm going to weld that. That'll make sure that that stays right there. I'm going to need to move this a little more this way too, because it's, I'll adjust that once I get this all tightened down here. But we're going to weld that, and instead of putting that on there, so we'll weld that around there. One nice thing about having that on there is good ground connection. I'm not the world's greatest welder, and I've got my welder doesn't use gas, so it doesn't weld very pretty. But you guys are just gonna have to bear with me, I guess. I'll go ahead and clean all of that up before we try to weld on that. Okay, this side over here is going to be a little rough to get to, but I think we're going to be able to get it good enough. That'll keep the noise down, and and the customer will be happy with it. So I'd like to put that up just a little bit. Let me get some bracket here, or jack stands. Okay. All right. Everyone in YouTube land, be careful because it's going to be bright. You might want to look away if you're prone to reacting to bright lights, flickering lights. Bright lights. Bright lights. Oh, they're looking hot. Yeah, I definitely need gas for this welder. This welding job looks like a turkey flew overhead. That's okay. Nobody will see it. Couple of spots underneath here that need some more splatter. Okay, yep. A little bit more up here. There we go. I approve of this message. All right, so let's get that over here, shut our welder off. All right, so that's welded in there. This is good. Let's loosen this up. Yeah, solid, very solid. Okay, good. As they say, I guess. I mean, the weld doesn't look perfect, but neither am I perfect, so there we go. Let's get this thing down and let's get a test drive out of this thing. See what it sounds like, see if the customer will be happy. I think he will be. We'll close the hood, no reason for that to be open. Let's bring you guys over here. We're going to open the garage door, get us out of here. Let's get moving here. Starting the engine. Oh, by the way, mileage 189,402 miles on the odometer. I'm assuming the engine either has that much or more or less. I don't know. I don't think this is the original engine. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, it's quiet. See how this thing drives. It's dark out here. Of course, it gets dark at like 5 o'clock at night here. So it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday night. I need to be at home, but I want to get this thing out of here. I've got too many jobs pending, big jobs pending, and we're waiting on parts, and yeah, so I just want to get this one out of here and get her on down the road. Plus the customer wants it back too, so there's always that. So we're not feeling a misfire anymore. The check engine light is off for now, so the engine's quiet. Everything is running good. I'm gonna take this thing on a test drive. I think I've said that before. It's slippery out here. Yes, it is very slippery. We've had rain all of this week. We've had rain, and then it turned from 50 degrees one day down to 20 degrees, and now it's down to like 10 degrees with winds and snow blowing, so we've got snow on top of moisture. It's really kind of nasty out here. I love it. I like this kind of weather, but yeah, it makes for some precarious situations. But this thing is running smooth so far. So let's go into data display. Let's go to misfire data, and that should tell us that we have no misfires. That is correct. Okay, well, this is a confirmed fix. As you can see, it doesn't always go smoothly or according to plan. The end result is the same. We've got it fixed though. So yeah, hope you guys found this informational and helpful. Maybe you could laugh at my mistakes. If you don't mind, go down there and comment what I should do different. Comment what you thought of the video. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you guys anything, and it sure helps me out a bunch. Most of all, I want you guys to have yourselves a great evening and a great weekend wherever you're at. Have a great day. Thanks a lot. Until next time, I will see you later.